This is the day the Lord has made. Let us rejoice and be glad in it. Good morning and welcome to First Lutheran Church, the heart of Christ in the heart of the city on Flood Sunday, the very first Flood Sunday in the liturgical calendar. We're also combining that with the conversion of St. Paul. So hang on tight, we're in for a ride today. As you maybe have noticed, things are a little bit different here. We had some excitement on Monday, and we'll be sharing a little bit about that story a little bit later or during the message time. And I want to prime the pump, so to speak, that as our drain overflowed on Monday, your hearts maybe will overflow. Your stories might overflow, and we maybe can share them with one another. During the course of the week, as we encountered one another and other people in the city, so many had some story or another of the experience of what happened on Monday. As we worship, I also want to be mindful of that we have the opportunity to laugh. We have the opportunity to make some fun of the day. We have some opportunity to be lighthearted because no one here was hurt. The carpet was praise God, was destroyed, and so we're going to have to, work on that. But nobody was physically hurt that I know of in this community. But there are people in our city who were, and who truly lost homes and places to live and sense of security. So we want to be mindful of them at the same time. David Pohl had the phrase in Yiddish. Would you be so kind to stand and into the microphone? Michael and David and I, before the service were starting, I was saying how what a good thing it is from the Old Testament, our Jewish heritage, to laugh, and how Christians can get so grumpy. And I don't know why we get so stern, but we do, and you blurted out some Yiddish.
Which means man plans and God laughs.
Man
so every time we
plans
try to plan, yeah.
So this morning, our best laid plans are being set aside, and we want to laugh with God. Part of that is, as we were struggling to get the place ready for you, you could see that we couldn't get it all done. And on Friday afternoon, I said, well, just leave it. It is about disarray. Right? And our lives can be a disarray. This is probably more reflective of most of your garages than we want to admit. It certainly is mine. And our lives get pushed around by the water and the trouble and the trauma, and there just wasn't the energy to get it put all back. We just couldn't do it. So these piles are real. And you could take a tour later and see, the pile out in the north or in the lounge, and you can walk yourself through the offices and see what's there. All right, enough of that now. We do want to share that there's a couple great things going on. In the midst of things, some friends said, "Oh, how are you doing?" And I said, "Well, I'm doing fine." And I sent a text back, and I reread it, and it sounded very whiny. That maybe I was whining. Looked like it was whining, and I was able to restate that in the midst of all the craziness and the hecticness and the bother there was so much good. There were so many blessings that poured out at the same time. And so then the concern is, good Lord, why does it have to come all at once? Not that it isn't there. It's just sometimes, why does it come at once? So we have some of the good things coming up. You have an insert, Super Bowl of Caring, on Super Bowl Sunday. Hope you can come and participate in that as we continue to share from the great bounty that God has given us to share with others. This is part of a synodical and Sunday school and synodical effort to share. We also have, I know you're all deeply disappointed. You came for worship and the congregational meeting. That had to be postponed again. So I know I can see the sadness on your faces that the congregation meeting is postponed, but it's going to be good stuff. You're going to want to come and hear the ministry stories. Then save the date on Sunday, February 18th, we have the Martin Luther King Jr. Choir. We'll fill this sanctuary with good news, with sounds that you can't believe. They'll take the roof off. Good, we have a plan to put a new roof on, so it'll be just fine that they're going to come and sing and knock it off. But hope that you will take the opportunity to invite some friends or neighbors, anybody in your circle, because it's going to be a great, great, great night. I think that's... Lenten devotions are coming up. If you haven't not yet turned your Lenten devotions in to Frank DeLuise, February 1st is your deadline. He's expecting a flood of devotions at midnight on the 30th. So if that's what happens, that's what happens. Before we share in the Thanksgiving for baptism at the waters of the font, I want to give thanks for being flooded with goodness that Nate Pratt is here, and longtime member, moved to Fresno for a while. His life has lightened up. I can see on the smile on his face, and he is back. I asked him if he was here for vacation. He said, no, I'm here for good. So, welcome back, Nate. We're so happy to have you. And with that, Pastor Kraft is visiting from Spokane, and she's back from many years being gone. She said she was a member here, worshiped here regularly when Jack Lindquist was the pastor. So if you want to, Pat Lindquist is right over here in the red vest, so you guys can connect up later. We want to welcome all the other guests and friends that are here worshiping with us today. Melinda, it's good to see you. I'm glad you're here today. Glad you made it. And then to all our guests and friends who are worshiping with us online. I'd invite you now to stand, turn, and face the font as we give thanks for the gift of baptism and the promise of God's forgiveness.